you know what? We are not the only ones struggling with this. So I came up
Yeah.
with a product line called Dreamy Nourish Challenge.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Behind the Small Business Podcast with me. As always, you are stuck with me yet again. My name is Kevin Dandino. I am glad to be with you here today. We got a pair of fantastic guests that are going to tell us their story about their business and some of the awesome things they do within their community, which is part of why I reached out to them to begin with, was some of the fun things they were posting online. And so we'll get into that later on. But before we do, guys, remember this is brought to you by Centennial State Insurance Agency. So please look us up if you're looking for any kind of new insurance quote, whether it's personal or commercial. Be more than happy to get you taken care of. So you can find us online at centennialstateins.com or just search Centennial State Insurance Agency. Be more than happy to take care of you. So today I have Travis and Dana Beasley. How are you guys both doing today?
We're pretty good. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Of course. I am looking forward to hearing your guys' story and just hearing about your business and everything you're doing. So people aren't here to hear me talk. I want to hear what you guys have to say. So let's turn it over to you. Just start off by introducing yourselves and tell us just about your business.
All right. My name is Travis Beasley, and I am a self-employed architect, entrepreneur.
Yep.
Awesome.
And I help him in his business, and I also have my own business that's called Angel Arts. And one of the things that I do in town is I run a live action role playing club for kids. And Travis helps me
Absolutely
by filling in a few special roles. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear about that. It's one of those things. I never got into LARPing, but I had some friends that did, and it's especially when you're doing something like helping kids and giving something for the kids to do, right? Like I said, I want to get into that for sure. And definitely, Dana, hear more about your business on top of just the architecture that Travis does. But Travis, break it down a little bit more for us. What's the name of your architecture company, and what made you get into that?
Okay, well, the name of it is Essential Pillar and Architecture, right? And she's correcting. She's going to correct me a lot on this.
Oh, my wife does the same thing. It's probably for the better too.
Been in it all time, practically all of my life.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's just something that came really naturally to you. You're just like, you know what? This is exactly what I'm going to do.
I stayed in it, and yes, it's been rough times as well as the good times.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, how did you? What made you want to start your own business within that, though? It's one thing to just love doing it, but that's another thing to say, I want to actually run my own company doing this. So, what made you take that leap into doing that, and when did you do that?
Dana's encouragement, and I'm going to say I want to officially say I started that in about 12 years ago. It was roughly 12 years ago.
2014 or something.
Something, it was around that time.
I think, as I recall, he had felt like he reached kind of his ceiling in the small firm that he was working in, and just really wanted to go on his own. He had some opportunity to do some designs for some custom homes, and he did a couple of them in like Black Forest, for instance. So, yeah,
that was nice. Well, you've been through the gambit then, 12 years. That's something that, I don't have this, stats in front of me, but we know what 50, 60% of small businesses don't last the first 10 years, if not more than that. So you've kind of reached a big milestone, making it past that 10-year mark. And especially right in the middle of that, man, you're dealing with COVID. So how did COVID, how did that impact your business during that period?
Well, COVID did kind of make us go more remote, but we were adept to that already.
Yes, we didn't really have that much effect on his business because it was already remote to begin with. In fact, he had for a little bit before that worked for an engineering firm, and that didn't work out. So he was back home and just got a contract with a restaurant right before this all hit. So
wow,
it really didn't have much of an effect at all. And he was, of course, considered an essential worker. So, it didn't. I wrote this letter that he was an essential worker to take with him in the car.
Oh, I remember those days.
Yeah. So,
Never needed it though.
yeah, no, never
Mhm.
needed it. But yeah, no, it
Good.
really didn't affect him that way. It was fun.
Good.
Hmm.
Well, that's good. And it's. I mean, it's one of those things where it impacted people on such a wide, scale. People like you, Travis, you're saying it really didn't affect me, but other people, I mean, it drastically impacted them. Especially if you're talking about you were sitting right around that 6 or 7 year mark, and while you've had some experience up to that point, right? Like your business still is not fully set. So either way, to have made it through that, and so you were kind of talking earlier about you've been through some ups and the downs. If you wouldn't mind kind of talking to us about what's an example of one of those downs, or how did you get through that?
Well, in the COVID didn't seem like too much. It was a slight down, but I don't think you remember it being very much of one.
No, it's more been like the last year has
Last
been
year
down.
here.
And part of that was because he stopped working with the firm that he worked with for years, and now it's completely on his own.
I
But
did continue as a consultant for
Mhm.
that firm, even
Mm,
though not an employee.
yeah,
But even then, when they closed, it was a difference.
yeah. So it's been
Yeah.
awfully quiet in the industry these
Mhm.
last few months, and so
Yeah.
I've stepped up my marketing efforts, and I really turned to things like Instagram Reels. That's like
Yeah.
the main thing that I've done and seems to make a difference. Like just the other day, we got a lead for a garage apartment building, and I asked him where he heard about me, us, I should say,
Okay.
Yeah.
and he said Chat GPT, which means that
Interesting.
I'm doing my job
Okay.
with the
Right.
marketing, and we
Mhm.
also really concentrating on networking
Mhm.
and getting a hold of those old contractors that used to work with the former business that he worked for, forging new relationships. That's been a huge part of what we've tried to do, is building connections, and really what we lacked before is that. So that's a lot of what we have excuse me, we have concentrated on, and we are seeing some progress.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, it's funny, my dad was an electrician growing up, and so especially
Electric.
architecture, yeah, like so, I know what it's like, just from growing up around. Things are slow right now for any multitude of reasons, right? And like, is there going to be enough work? Is there going to be any work after this project is done? And I
Exactly.
don't know how many times I saw my dad stressing about that,
Mhm.
because it's like, hey, we're on this project, but we're 90% done, and there's nothing for us after this.
That is
So
exactly what architecture is like when you don't have the
Mhm.
connections coming through.
Well, I
yeah,
also do quite a bit of three trades, the design for the three trades: mechanical, plumbing, and electrical. With electrical being my strongest of the three.
hmm,
Yeah, he's quite
gotcha.
good with
Mhm.
electrical.
That's something I'm not good at. I still call my dad. I'm like, I can replace an outlet, but like that's probably about as far as I trust myself.
But Did you see it with your dad doing it?
Yeah, exactly.
Or
I
witness it?
helped him out on some side gigs and whatnot, and that's kind of the experience I got.
Mhm.
But it's really cool. So Dana, I kind of want to talk to you about your stuff going on there a little bit too. So tell us, first off, it's really cool that we have a husband wife duo that not only just kind of helps each other with their business, but like has two separate individual
Yes,
small businesses. So
yes, we
just
do.
tell us about yours.
So I have been doing the LARPing since 2017. At the time, our son was in high school or just entering high school, and he is high functioning autistic, and he was just in his
Mm,
own little world, just in front
yeah.
of the computer, and that's all he did. And I'd homeschooled him and began to think about how I could help him draw himself out of this bubble he was in, because he was in hard. The only person he would talk to was me. So
Mm,
I noticed he was playing a medieval skirmish game, which gave my nephew at the time, we ended up working together, but it gave us an idea to start this live action role playing club. And the main idea was to get our son out of this mode he was in. And so we started in 2017, and we've been going since then, except for, of course, a little period during the whole COVID shutdowns. But it has done what we designed it to do. Sam is now, well, he's 24, so he's our apprentice in both businesses. He does 3D modeling for Travis. He does graphics for me because I'm also a graphic artist, publisher, that kind of thing. Yeah, I'm kind of a person of many different interests, but yeah. So he helps with the kids. He helps them like learn sword fighting techniques that he learned. He learned German sword fighting techniques.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So he will teach them that. He will run different, what we call ditch battling scenarios. We had a summer camp in June, and he came up with this way of making a gun, but like an air gun that shoots Nerf darts.
Sure.
But it looked like a flintlock because we always do a history theme usually, and the history theme was pirates.
Oh.
So he made the flintlock type gun, and the kids loved it.
I bet. I would love it. That's awesome.
He took plumbing tube, and then you blow in it into a PVC pipe, and it darts it out quite powerfully, almost rivaled his powerful Nerf gun.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's some ingenuity there.
That's
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you have this opportunity here to really bring out some, unique creativity. And the story behind it is so cool to, hey, your son having, this situation that you're trying to help him out, but then you expanded it to this larger community. So how many kids would you say are involved right now?
Well, I'm still recruiting for the fall, so not very many at the moment.
Okay.
I'm hoping to get some more, but we've had anywhere from 10 to 15 kids involved. It's not very large, but it's manageable, I guess, crowd-wise, because these are kids 11 through 17. A lot of them are on the spectrum themselves.
Yeah.
I have that heart for kids who are like that. Wanted to reach out to kids who just didn't fit in the sports world. And that was never my kid. That was never me either. So we wanted a place for them to have a creative outlet, and that's what we've done.
That's fantastic. It doesn't have to be a big group. And this is something that if people have been listening to this podcast for a while now, they probably have heard me say this a million times, but it's such an important point to reach business owners that are maybe trying to figure out, what can I do for my community? Or, man, I haven't had time to sit down and come up with some plan because it's, if I'm going to get back to my community, it's going to be some big, big thing. And it doesn't have to be, right? And for kids, like, you just need a group of 10, 15. They're going to have a day of their life. They're going to have an amazing time.
Well, we had 7 kids at the summer camp, which was probably our lowest amount. But all 7 of them had so much fun.
Yeah.
And the parents, knowing that their kids had fun, were delighted. So, we made 7 kids very happy, and me and Sam very tired.
Oh, I'm sure. But it's something where it's unique to you guys. It has some real meaning behind it. And you're making a difference. And so just to the business owners out there, it doesn't have to be this big, grand thing that you do. You don't have to give $10,000 to some nonprofit, right? Just find something little that's meaningful to you that helps somebody else out in your community. And that goes so far. So what you guys are doing, that's just so fun to see. Now, do you have any plans for growing this out any further? Like you say, there's like summer camp and stuff. Like, what does this all entail? Is it like a quarterly thing, or what do you guys do?
No, usually we have a school program from September until early May. And honestly, I'm not quite sure what we're going to do after this year. That's in flux. But one of my ideas is to take this on the road, like on mission trips, because the center of this group is, I always start with the Bible, and I do Bible devotionals. So if we could take that, into overseas missions trips, that would be one thing that I'm would love to do. And the other thing is that I have been writing and studying fantasy since I was a kid, like 14, and oh my gosh, I've read Lord
Yeah.
of the Rings probably about 30 times. Narnia, I've invented my own language, my own worlds. I mean, this,
Wow.
yeah, this is what I did as a kid. So I
Yeah.
took, and this is another good point for people who are looking for a business is, what was it that you were doing as a kid? What did you love to do? This is what I love to do. And so I just took everything that I had done as a kid and I reworked it into this storyline, this world that I created, like Lord of the Rings. It's all based on what I had done as a child. And so I plan on writing those into books.
Mm.
So I'm going to have,
Okay.
like, we have done, we will have done 15 campaigns after this year. So there will be at least 15 books that I'm
Wow.
going to write.
Going to write, but that's a cool series, though. That's
Yeah, well,
freaking.
and all the outlines are done,
Yeah.
basically, 'cause that's what I've done the last however many years, I can't count.
Sure.
But yeah,
Sure.
so yeah, that's what I really wanna do with this, is turn them in.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm excited to see that happen, and I totally believe with your creativity and what you guys do, and just your momentum and everything. I totally see that happening. So I'm excited to go buy them when they come out. You're gonna have to let me know, and we
When I
can
was
announce it here as well.
right, when I was in high school, my English teacher told this creative writing class that I was it's rather hard to live up to. The next J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis. Now, I'm not saying that I'm that,
Yeah.
believe me,
Yeah.
but I definitely feel like fantasy writing is in my future.
That's awesome.
That level, you cannot, like, nobody can do what those two great artists did.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Of course not. But you're not trying to be them.
No,
You
no,
know.
no.
Yep. But I think there's an essence of being a small business owner in there too. Just like, yeah, there's greats. Yeah, there's companies or businesses that have been around for a while, but you're trying to be yourself. You're trying to be unique. You're trying to stand out. And
Right,
it's things like the business name. I always ask people what's the, reason behind the story behind the business name. And
right.
there's something unique about that, right? So
Exactly.
while,
Exactly.
you may be another concrete person. There are a million concrete people out there. Okay. You may
Mhm.
not be the best, but you're just trying to be yourself and bring your own, personality and character into that business. So
And a lot of it is kind of accidental. I didn't plan this with the LARPing. It was just a, hey, why don't we? And then it developed from there.
yeah.
There's other things in other parts of my business that have been the same. It's like, well, why don't we do this? Oh, well, here, I want to do this. Before I know it, I'm creating my own, like, fan base so I could sell more books. That was never something I
Hmm.
started out strategizing. It just happened because I love doing these things.
Yeah. It's your passion, right?
Mhm.
And just like Travis, your passion for architecture, it shines through in what you do.
Yeah,
And it pushes you through those hard times for sure too, I'm sure.
it does. Knowing that you can help somebody who
Mhm.
wants that house that they've been dreaming about, you know,
Yeah.
and we're helping a
Mhm.
couple right now build a house or plan a house in Colorado City, and Travis designed a spiral staircase, and
Okay.
he was really, really delighted with his design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, tell me about some of that, Travis. So we designed spiral staircases and stuff, and what's maybe is there a specific passion that you have within architecture that you just absolutely love doing? That's just like, okay, I get to do this today. This is my bread and butter.
Part of it
Or is
is
it just all of it?
okay, and part of it is the way I derived my name shortly after the tornado hit Joplin, Missouri, and
Yeah.
serious damage. And
Yeah.
so it did renew interest in reinforced construction, which is available for residential construction. Now the developer houses are not going to build that, of course.
Right.
They have to be custom designed and custom built. There is uh, some branches that we're specializing in. One of the on the commercial side, it's often restaurants and as well as lease tenant configurations,
Mhm.
finishes, and tenant turnover remodels. There's custom housing is another one, including for the reason I outlined above about the resiliency from a disaster, more disaster resistant when that is practicable to happen. Then there is more housing options. The legislation in Colorado is allowing for more accessory dwellings and more innovative use of housing. And then there is a homesteading, large homesteading structures for that allow for more homesteading to
Like
occur.
intergenerational living.
Intergenerational,
Yeah. Okay.
multi-generational living also.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, what I hear you talking about there is like this idea of protecting people too. You know, you're talking about, you know, after the job plan and I think they did a Netflix documentary
Yes.
on that one, which
Mhm.
was, I mean, guys, if you want to see a story, I mean, you've got to go watch that. And I'm not getting paid by Netflix to go say that. So,
Yeah.
but after seeing that, and you're talking about that kind of being at least part of what you like to focus on or offer and make sure people know that is available to them. I mean, that's something pretty big. I would say that's a really good thing that, and I would expect that more people like
available to him. I know that cost is a hindrance; it's a hurdle.
Yeah, I would just think that there'd be more people in your profession out there. This would be more of a standard thing, especially after that tornado.
You'd think.
Yes, now here we're a bit west of Tornado Alley.
Yeah.
But then still you can even consider disasters such as flooding and other high wind events, high water events and such.
Yeah.
Plus, isn't it more sustainable? Like you aren't wasting as much energy for cooling and heating. Is that true?
Not as much.
Not as much.
Not
Okay.
as much.
See, I don't know these things.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. These are good questions, but I'm sure somebody out there was wondering that.
Yeah, right.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
But you go out to, and I'm gonna put this wonderful name out there for you, the Estates at Misty Pond, and
that's his joke for these developments.
And it's
really?
important
Complexes.
for any clients or home buyers to remember that if they go that route, they need to remember that who makes the decisions, not you. Who makes the decisions, not you, in those environments.
And that's, yeah. I mean, guessing that getting a customized house obviously is a lot in terms of just the work and the planning and everything, right? But
the client has to go through that themselves. Now, the others will go out to the developer home scene and they'll probably skirt that, but then there are other sacrifices that they will make. A lot of it will be quite a bit of property rights and decision making that is made for them and then mandated for them.
Yep, exactly. Well, I would say if anybody's having any kind of issues like that or has any questions, definitely, hey guys, reach out to Travis and pick his brain because it's all things that I don't understand. But I would think, yeah, if you know, if I was in the market of buying a house or, you know, especially a new house, a new build, and I didn't have a say over like those kinds of things that would then later impact me in a negative way, I would be a little upset by that, you know, especially if I didn't know about it beforehand.
It can happen.
So
yeah. This would be great glad to help.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, I did want to ask you guys before we ended today. Again, so it's just so cool to see, you know, husband wife teams here, you know, helping each other out, supporting each other, and kind of working as that team there. So, what's that been like for you guys? I mean, obviously there's struggles, you know, every married couple has struggles, especially when there's business involved, right? But how has that been for you guys? And would you have any advice for anybody else out there that are maybe looking to go into a business partnership with their spouse?
Can I take this one?
Okay, go for it.
So one last fall, we found ourselves being more roommates and business partners And I went, this isn't good.
Yeah.
And so I began to think about our dating life, how we had dated 2.5 years long distance from Texas to here.
Mhm.
And so we didn't have dates. We had we had weekends. He would come up or I would go down and we
Yeah.
would spend whole weekends doing things and we called them dreamy weekends. And so I thought, what we need is to get that back. And so I brainstormed on what to do and I called it a dreamy weekend plan. And then me having an entrepreneur brain went, hmm, you know what? We are not the only ones struggling with this. So I came up
Yeah.
with a product line called Dreamy Marriage Challenge.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
And it helps us.
Yeah.
It helps us connect. Like I made these little cards that they're prompts and you can ask each other questions or they're like some of them are dates that you could go on. So it gave us a way to connect again, that it was quick, it wasn't stressful. A lot
Hmm.
of these programs, they can be really involved and a lot of stress. That's not what I wanted for us. And so it was just a lot of, you know, low stress connecting every single day. Every single day we pray together, but we have our business meeting every
Hmm.
single day. Business strategy meeting. But more than that, is finding those little points of connection throughout the day to keep that romance alive, because that takes work. But boy, when you're in a lot of stress and when you're running two businesses, that
Yeah.
became pretty heavy. So yeah, I developed these tools for us, and then I was like,
Why
hey,
not?
why not? Why
Yeah.
not do this? So yeah, that's I'm a digital product that I created.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's smart. That's smart. I mean, that's just noticing, hey, this is helping us.
Yeah.
Other people, like you said, we're not alone.
Nope, exactly. I have these two words that get me in trouble. Why not?
Yeah. Why not? You know what? I would say I'm in the same boat. Me
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
I
yeah.
say that a lot. I'm like, why not? Yeah. And it's like, oh, that's why.
Yeah. So
So
yeah,
that's cool.
that I would say little connections, and
Yeah.
don't stress yourself out doing it, but just even a 2-minute talk several times
Yeah.
a day can do wonders.
For sure. Travis, what do you think, man? Anything from your side of perspective?
Probably it's getting over a hamster wheel trap of jumping and running from project to project, and we
Yeah.
had found ourselves in that trap. We needed a reset to get off of that trap. Running from project to project, uh, particularly when it's a series of small ones, and then there's a rush to start, a rush to finish, a rush to market for the next one, a rush to land the next one, and a rush to begin the next one. And we had found ourselves in that trap. And now we have been, and that's the fortunate and silver lining of this phase we're going through now, is not so much.
Mm, yeah.
There's still an element of it,
Sure.
but
I think if
you
you have,
find yourself in that hamster wheel. You run in a hamster wheel.
yeah. No, I think if you have a small business,
Mhm.
that happens to everybody. And then if you have two small businesses, it's exponential. Yeah. It just compounds. So
Right. Yeah.
um,
Keeps life
that's good
exciting.
stuff. Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Well, hey guys, I'm going to give you guys a chance here in just a second to tell everybody again how they can find you, how they can contact you, and anything else that you want to share. So before we do that, guys, I do want to once again make sure that you all the listeners out there, you all know this is an open invitation to come up onto this podcast, be a guest, talk about you, talk about your business, showcase yourself. No strings attached. We are not looking for any kind of payback or reciprocation or anything like that. We just want to help you guys out because we know how tough it is to be a small business and to keep that going because we are one ourselves. So if you are interested in being in this podcast and sharing your own story, let us know, reach out to us, and we will get you all that information. But I do, again, want to give Travis and Dana here a chance to, again, let us all know where they can, or where we can find them, how we can contact them, and all that other stuff. So Travis and Dana, take it away.
Okay. Well, she has all the answers to
Okay.
that.
Okay. Just like my wife. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And websites and stuff.
Yeah, so
and she's good with that.
So the Essential Pillar website is just simply essentialpillar.com. And that's where we have all the information. We have contact forms that interested people can fill out if they are wanting either a commercial or a residential build or remodel. So it's all there, explains everything about us, emails, phone numbers. So probably the easiest thing for him is essentialpillar.com. So
Gotcha.
And as for me, for LARPing, probably it's like, okay, which one do I tell you?
Okay, I get lost.
Right.
So I will really get lost.
So probably, if you want to find out about this year's program, the site is called explorerslarpingclub.com, and it'll explain when it starts, which is September 4th. It meets 3 times a week. 3 times a month. Wow, that's a lot. No, 3 times a month from February until April. And then we have a couple of special events, like we have a medieval feast in December. And then we have a knighting awards ceremony in May. Part of it meets at Living Hope Church on the west side, and part of it is at our house. So anyway, all that information can be found out at explorerslarpingclub.com.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. Well, seriously, Travis and Dana, thank you so much for your time today. Yeah. Dana, did you get? Is there anything else for your other businesses people can find you there or anything like that?
Well, my main website is angelarts.biz, and right. I do such a wide variety of things. So we do branding, logos, book publishing, book coaching. I'm writing books. I'm writing a book on about a Bigfoot.
Okay.
Yeah. And
nice.
So all of that information is there, or if it's not, it will be there. And then I have digital publications on that website in my e-commerce store. I have also some physical books and some cards that I've developed. So all that information can be found at angelarts.biz. B-I-Z.
Perfect. Sounds good. I didn't want to forget that. So
yeah. I'm kind of this Renaissance person.
Yeah. No, it's good. Yeah. It's good.
So
oh man. Well, seriously, again, thank you guys both for taking the time to be with me and share your story. It's a fascinating one. Lots of cool things you guys have going on, and hopefully some inspiration to other people out there too.
Yeah, I hope so.
Awesome. Well, you guys have a good rest of your day. And for everybody else out there, again, if you're looking for any kind of quote, either for insurance, either personal, commercial, please reach out to us here at Centennial State Insurance Agency, and we would be more than happy to get your information and see what we could do for you. But with that being said, we will have another fantastic guest on the next episode. But for now, we're going to sign off and see you next time. This has been another episode of Behind the Small Business. Take care.
Thank you.